Hello. It's the first time I've done a video like this, but I felt the need to do this video just to point something out, really. That's I find quite worrying based on people's behaviour. Well, people's reactions to news events and the fact that their reactions are suddenly considered the norm, like that's the kind of moral high ground that's accepted these days. But anyway, it was a story that featured on, I think it was Sky News, or I'll just check it here, it's NSN News, but I only caught it yesterday. I think it came out a few days ago or something. But yeah, it says there, the headline, "Mother jailed for killing beautiful daughter." And this mother here, Erin Sutherland, smothered her daughter Chloe to death at home in Edinburgh. The news article goes on to say that she was suffering from postnatal depression, and she was initially charged with murder, although Sutherland later pleaded guilty to culpable homicide on the grounds of diminished responsibility. So this is why she's only serving 3 years for this crime. Now, she's the baby's dead now, obviously. But I was looking at some of the comments. I know it's a pretty silly thing to do, but you can't help but want to get involved with stories and discuss it these days, kind of thing. And I just saw quite an overwhelming amount of comments that were kind of absolving responsibility from the mother because of her mental state. Now, I appreciate that mental health played a part in this, but I just find it a bit strange how some people can say this is, this woman committed a horrible crime, but she wasn't thinking straight. It's not fair because she was a mental state wasn't right or anything like that, And then they'll say like, oh, but it's a terrible situation for all involved. And it's like, it's a terrible situation for the baby's father, the rest of the family, and the baby, who's now dead. This woman murdered her baby. There's no two ways about that. It doesn't matter about mental state. She murdered her baby. If it was a man that did this, if it was the father that killed the baby, I have a strong feeling not only would he be called a monster, which he would be by doing that, which she is too, but I don't think, even if mental health played a part in his reasons for doing that, if that even popped up in the story, no one would pay attention to that. The guy would be an out-and-out monster, which is what she is. But no one seems to want to admit that. We've just got these bunch of supercilious social justice warriors kind of saying things like this guy here: "I'm very aware that postnatal depression is not being taken seriously enough, and it's well nigh impossible for women to access support in this regard." There might be some truth to that. I'm not debating that at all. This poor woman wasn't in her right mind, and an innocent life is lost. Maybe we'll hear the same old lessons will be learned, trotted out again. This poor woman, you know what I mean? It's like, where do you draw the line? Why do people because the woman has pleaded guilty on the grounds of diminished responsibility, she's suddenly absolved of all the what she's done to that beautiful little girl. And you've just got another bunch of comments saying about postnatal depression, like, "Oh my God, postnatal depression is awful." Yes, postnatal depression is awful. Depression is a horrible thing that anyone has to go through. But you can't use that as an excuse for murder. For the murder of an innocent little girl, a beautiful innocent little girl like this. And no one seems to want to kind of just say, cut through the bullshit and say, this is just wrong. That woman deserves everything she gets for murder. She needs to pay the price for taking an innocent life like that, as would anyone else, male or female. But she gets away scot-free. I had a friend, there was another story like this that happened in Australia. A young baby was murdered by her mother, who was suffering from postnatal depression. Only this baby was murdered in quite a horrible way, where she was I think she was pushed down a grid or something, but it happened not too long ago. And the same thing happened again. I spoke to one of my friends, and she said, she mustn't have been in the right frame of mind. And it's like, what does that mean? Well, she mustn't have been in the right frame of mind. She murdered her daughter. You don't absolve responsibility because you're going through something like that. It's like, seriously, what if the father had done that, and the father was going through a depressive episode or something? I'm pretty certain he would have been demonized, as he should have been. But because this is a mother, she's not, and she only gets 3 years for it, and it's a terrible situation for everyone involved. I'm sick of this now, but anyway, there's no point banging on about it. There are a few people on there that just said, like, this is ridiculous, she needs to go to prison for a lot longer and things, but majority of people just absolving responsibility from this woman who killed her daughter because they're social justice warriors, and I must be just an unempathic troll just for pointing out how abhorrent this crime is and the fact that she's killed such a beautiful little girl. But anyway, I've not really got much else to say. That's all I can say. So, goodbye.